Okay, guys, we're back. Dr. Will, Moreland and Lainika Johnson-Colbert, and we are going to talk about
Finances.
awesome. Okay, so Will, we're talking about the financial portion of the business plan. What are those main elements that we're going to be talking about?
Well, we're going to be talking about your loan applications, some of the loan applications that you may need. We're going to talk about your profit and loss. And we're going to be talking about your 12-month projections and maybe your four-year projections as well.
Okay, awesome. So when you talk about loan applications, what is that about?
Well, Lainika, you talked about developing leadership teams. Well, you want to begin to think about your bank as a part of your leadership team. Your bank is going to be a vital asset to you as you start, grow, and expand your business.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. So why is the bank so important?
Well, banks have more money than you. And so when we start talking about growing our business or even starting our business, a lot of you are not going to have the startup capital that you need. So that's why this business plan is so important. It's what you use to convince the bank to give you their money. In the research part, that's why the research part is so valuable, because it's going to show the bank that you've done your due diligence and you know how they're going to get their money back. That's what it's all about. You're in business to make money, and the bank is too.
Okay, now earlier in our conversation, we were talking about the equipment and the supplies and things like that in your financial portion. So what about that?
Right. So let's just say you have a baking business. You bake pies.
Okay.
Well, you may start off in your home and you're just using your own oven, but we're looking at you being amazing. So amazing means that you're going to grow. So if you grow, you're no longer going to be able to just use that one oven. You may not be able to do it out of your house anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're starting to talk about your rental fees. We're talking about your equipment fees. You're going to need 10 new ovens. Where are you going to get that money from?
A lot of ovens. I guess
A lot of pies.
A lot of pies. I guess you get the money from your bank, right?
That's why that relationship is so important. So you want to begin to right now begin to develop that relationship. Go down to your local bank. Introduce yourself as a new business owner and get them to tell you what your company needs to look like for them to be willing to give you money.
Well, that's a really good point. That's a really good point. Okay, so another thing that we talked about at the top of this was your break-even analysis. Like, what is that?
Well, remember, you're not doing a hobby anymore. You're running a business, and business needs to produce money. Why? Because you're going to have bills. So we want to be able to say, when are we looking at making some money? You're going to be investing a lot of time, a lot of energy, but a lot of money into this business. We need to know, when are you going to be able to get paid? When are you going to be able to give your new employees some money? So we need to know, when are we going to break even? Is it at the 3-month, 6-month, or 12-month point of the business?
And that's probably really important for the bank to see, right?
Well, once again, the bank is in business to make money. So when they give you $100,000, they want to know, when are you going to be able to give them their money back? This is what the break-even analysis enables you to do, is tell them projectedly when they're going to get their money back.
So this break-even analysis, will this also be part of your profit and loss, or is that something totally different, your profit and loss?
Well, it is going to kind of tie into your profit and loss. When we start talking about profit and loss, we begin to talk about the equipment once again. Over the years, it's not going to be as valuable as it was when you first bought it. And so you're going to be looking at equipment updates. And this is where your profit and loss statement begins to come into play.
Okay, so we're going to put that up on the screen, a profit and loss statement sample, right, so that they can see kind of what that looks like.
Right. You should be looking at the screen, and we're going to show you what that profit and loss look like.
Okay. You talked about projecting, and you talked about possibly doing what did you say, a 1-year or 4-year projection? I know I saw some business plans that ask for a 3-year
Right.
projection. So what are you looking at when you're talking about doing projections?
Well, when we're looking at doing projections, we're talking about our equipment costs once again, our
Okay.
product costs once again.
Mhm.
If we're going to have employees, that's the type of things you want to start to look at. Now, remember, the business plan is another word that I like to use in terms of vision. So you want to begin to see as far out as you can. Usually when you begin your business, it's just you.
Mhm.
So you're the accountant, you're the secretary, you're the project manager.
Mhm.
Well, I want you to begin to expand that and put in place people in those roles. It may not happen today, but you want to have in place how you're going to pay them. And so those are the type of things you want to start looking at.
Okay, so when we're talking about projections, you're kind of looking out how your business is going to look in 3 years.
Exactly.
Okay.
How you want your business to look. We don't want to over exaggerate, but we don't want to under exaggerate because we believe you're going to be amazing.
Okay, all right, well, so the last part that we were talking about earlier was the backup data, right? How do you get that backup data for
Well,
your projections? Where'd you get all that information?
That's where that work comes in, and we talked about researching your market.
Okay, so that backup data is going to come from that market research that you did earlier, that competitive
Right.
analysis.
When you do your competitive analysis and you begin to project what are your competitors charging, let's say, for instance, once again, you have pies. Well, if the market average is $10 for a pie and you come to the market and you're selling yours for $35,
Okay.
I'm telling you, you better have an amazing pie.
An amazing pie, because I'm not buying that pie for $35 when Susie's selling it for 10,
Well,
right?
but then let's interject this though. Unless once again you may have a specialty pie where you have created some unique design for your pies, then that may make the difference. So this is where your research comes in. So once again, if you're doing designer pies, then
okay.
Walmart may not be your competitor.
Okay, all right. That's good stuff. All right, so we're going to move past this now to all of the documents that need to be gathered,
Okay.
right? So let's go to the next section, supporting documents.